Hello physical fiends, it's Jordan here with March's biggest physical releases on all consoles. This is a top 10 of my choice, taking into account hype levels, importance, and also a dollop of my own personal taste. So yeah, let me know what you think below with my choices. Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Is there now any reason to power up your Wii U? I'm not sure there is. I mean, Star Fox Zero was interesting, but I think it's safe to stick it in the attic now, unless you're like me and basically use my Wii U as a GameCube. Because to me, this game was probably the best exclusive on the system. Sometimes I may flip-flop between this and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but at the end of the day, this game was so big in scope for the time and the console, there was nothing like it on the Wii U, and it's still going to be great on the Switch, now with added story content. Do not go in expecting a proper Xenoblade experience, you will not get that, but you'll get a fantastic, intriguing, open-world mech action game and some of the best, worst music ever made. I unironically love the battle theme, and the best news is that despite coming to the aging Switch with, a less rapid fan base than it once did, now that there's like 1 billion games tiring everyone out, it's still gonna sell much better than the original Wii U edition. It's a clever way to get return on investment. Maybe Nintendo were playing the long game all along. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster boy, are you gonna be hearing me talk about this one a lot this coming week? This is probably going to pop up on a daily basis on this channel, and I apologize in advance, but actually I don't really apologize because this is a massively important release. It's important for Konami, for JRPG fans, and for me personally because I absolutely adore these games, both of them. The first game in particular holds so much nostalgic value for me, it almost brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it. These are remakes of 2 classic PS1 JRPGs that people love, but they never got the plaudits in the same way as some of its peers like Final Fantasy. They deserve to be regarded even higher, and I'm praying this will do well so we get more games in the series. This is releasing physically on Nintendo Switch, PS5 and Xbox. Buy it! And yeah, if you do want to buy it, which you should, or any of the games in this video, please do so via the links in the description and the pinned comment. That massively helps support me, this channel, to keep making useful physical content for you guys. VGP, who I've linked below, are a great company with favorable prices in Canadian dollars, like the exchange rate is pretty good right now. Plus, they have free worldwide shipping on orders over $80, about 57 American dollars or something. So yeah, thank you so much for your support. Atelier Yumia. Believe it or not guys, it's been 2 years since we last had a brand new mainline Atelier game. Usually they're every year. Well, now that the Riser sub-series has sailed off into the sunset, we've got a new protagonist on our hands, Atelier Yumia. And it's looking great. I'm very excited to see this new chapter in the Atelier world as they get more and more ambitious. If you enjoy JRPGs, then you should consider picking this up. It's unlikely you'll need any prior knowledge of the series before going into it. Now, in both North America and Europe, there is a physical release on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, but only North America is getting a Switch physical, and I think maybe Australia, but the point is, Europe is not getting the Switch physical. However, Europe is getting a PlayStation 4 physical, which North America is not. It is worth noting that VGP ship copies of the Switch version to Europe for free. Check the links below. Assassin's Creed Shadows has, shall we say, not had the easiest of times when it comes to PR. It almost feels like it's a walking disaster. There's been a lot of vitriol towards this game, with many saying it's gonna flop. However, outside of the social media bubble, when Barry the bricklayer sees this on store shelves, he ain't gonna care. He just wants some gaming fodder to ease the pain of his miserable existence. It's still gonna sell a bunch, even if there is some franchise fatigue. And to be honest, looking at the actual gameplay, from me, someone who has like zero interest in the game with the build-up and stuff like that, for me it looks alright. I mean, I have no intention of buying it, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a massive release for March. Atomfall is a game set in northern England after a nuclear disaster. Basically, Barnsley. It actually looks really interesting. Love the setting, really unique. And maybe because I am from Northern England, Sheffield, even though I don't sound like it anymore, I'm looking forward to hearing some of the native accents. This game is made by Rebellion, who I am very familiar with, perhaps overly familiar with at this point in my life, since I did a Star Wars video game retrospective, and now I'm doing an Aliens video game retrospective. And these guys have their name plastered on a good few of those titles. Solid studio, I have great expectations. It's on PS5, PS4, and Xbox. Split Fiction is the latest game from the same studio that brought massive hits such as It Takes Two, A Way Out, and well, that's it. A couple of huge sellers there though. Millions and millions of copies sold for what are, AA games. They specialize in cooperative play, a very neat idea in an industry that often fails to do that well, if at all. I have to say this one kind of sneaked up on me. Something tells me it was announced by that bloke Jeff, who I do my best to avoid at all costs because I'm liable to vomiting on sight. This should be pretty good though. Sci-fi theme, loads of different settings. It'll be on PS5 and Xbox. The Messenger is a great release, even though it has had a physical release before from Special Reserve Games, so maybe it didn't really deserve to be on this list, but I think the fact that it's coming back and making what was once a very expensive game to purchase, now very cheap, and being even better because it includes the DLC content on the cart. I think it's a very exciting release that many people were gasping for. They want it! Now you don't need to pay $200 for it, because VGP have these for just 28 American bucks, and it also helps that it's a great game to boot. By the way, before I get into the next bunch of games, if you're new here, or if you're not subscribed yet, do so. It will be the best thing you do today, and the bigger this channel is, the more publishers may pay attention to the desire for physical media, so you'll be doing a good deed by doing so, and making me happy at the same time. I want to get to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Let me do it. Venus Vacation Prism, Dead or Alive Xtreme is probably, in my mind, going to be the biggest import of all time for PlayStation 5 up to this point. I can't think of anything nearly as substantial than dating ladies on a private desert island. The important information is that the Japanese version does not have English, but the Asian version, which is the one I've linked below, will have English. It's the only version that's going to have English. Now for these imports, I've linked both VGP and PlayAsia. Both have the standard edition, but PlayAsia also have the collector's editions. Yes, that's plural because there's both of them. For PS4 and PS5, there are 2 collector's editions each. There's the premium box, which includes a photo book, has a DLC code, which I think is either for an extra girl or an extra scenario with a girl already there. I'm not entirely sure on that. It also has a fabric poster and a reversible pillow which has 2 of the girls on it. Then there is a special collection box which contains all the stuff in the premium edition, but also has an extra long body-sized pillowcase with Nanami on it, you know what that's for, and a desk mat. It ain't cheap, but it's probably cheaper than dating in real life. Just remember that, okay? And also remember, if you use the PlayAsia links, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2025, which is a pretty chunky amount if you're buying those big chunky boxes, you know? Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is getting a physical release on PlayStation 5, but this is exclusive to PlayAsia. There was apparently no plans for a physical until they jumped on board, and the physical is due for the end of this month. I played the version that was on the Master Collection, which is back in stock by the way, and loved it. I don't know if this is based off of that version, but either way, if I was a serious PS5 gamer and collector, I would 100% add this to my collection. Ninja Action rarely gets as good as this. Reviews have been great, it feels free compared to modern day action games, and it's a great lead up to the newly announced 4th entry in the series. Can't wait for that one. Remember, it's a PlayAsia exclusive, it will have English, and will play on any PlayStation 5, so use the link down below to grab it. The Broken Sword Collection. I'm ending on the little console that could, the Evercade, Blaze are doing some really nice stuff, bringing out classic games in their original forms rather than remasters, which, you can never actually be sure if it'll be better than the original. That's been an eye-opener for me recently. Well, here's the 2 original Broken Sword games in a nice little bundle. This is a Gigacut for your Evercade, their new lineup of bigger releases, and I'm always happy when I see Broken Sword get a new release. 2 fantastic point-and-click adventure games, I would say the best. Mixing a serious story with humor and puzzles, they're perfect. And this cart is releasing on Mario Day, March 10th. And there we have my 10 biggest physicals for March. Which ones are you looking forward to? Which one do you think I should have added? And which one should I have ejected? Speaking of which, I know you're going to say Broken Sword, but in the comments, if you did watch all the way through, leave me a sword emoji alongside your comments. If you want to support the channel in the best way possible, please use the links down below in the description to buy any of the games. That really does help support me ever so much, and I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Take care.